Hi everyone, Debi Kelly here. I'm going to be talking to you today about the SARE Farmer Rancher Grant, and I'm excited to present this to you each and every year. So what is SARE? SARE is an agency within USDA called Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education. It is in every state, and Missouri is located in the north central region. So you're only competing with 12 other states, folks in those states who might submit a grant. It started in 1988 as a grassroots organization specifically just for farmers. And SARE is specifically going to be a competitive grant making and outreach program. The Farmer Rancher Grant is for farmers who come up with creative, innovative ideas in the area of sustainable agriculture that they think could be solutions to different sorts of things in production, marketing, labor, education, outreach, anything along the line that might help you as a producer in a sustainable agricultural fashion to improve your farm. Sustainable agriculture practices are tested through on-farm research on your farm. You can do education, you can do demonstrations, and then your results of what your program is all about should be shared with other farmers. The application, more information is going to be at this website that's located here, and it will also be so that you can click on it on the YouTube channel. Examples of grants, topic areas, it could be marketing, food sovereignty, which is very important, sustainable pest and weed management, crop diversification, soil health and quality, rotational grazing, quality of life issues. All sorts of things can be topics that could be utilized in the area of the Farmer Rancher grants. Guidelines, it must be an on-farm research, or it could be a demonstration farm where you're educating others, or specifically just education. Funding is for 23 months, and in 2023, which is what you would be applying for, there's a total of $720,000 that is available for farmers in the 12 states. As an individual farmer, you can get up to $15,000, or you can apply as a team proposal and get up to $30,000. So it has to be two different farms. It can be same family, but the families must have different farm entities, different farm names, and do their taxes separate from each other. A farmer is someone who raises crops or livestock, especially as a business, and that is the SARE definition. A team or a group grant farmer participants must be separate farms, as I had just said. And there must be one of those two farms must be the project coordinator. So you're both working jointly, but one person has to be the coordinator that's going to work with SARE to see the project through. Successful proposals that usually get awarded are those that have a very definitive type of a problem with a proposed solution to help to justify that problem, to make that problem essentially less or to go away. You must involve cooperators so other farmers can be involved in some capacity, or at least in the outreach where you're educating other farmers about your project. Your outcomes must be measurable. In other words, how many people did you educate? What was the result of the actual research that you might be doing? What are those actual measurements? Emphasis is on outreach. How are you going to let other people know about your project? Because that's also important. And it also must fit within the mission of what sustainable agriculture is all about. And then if you proposed in the past and you didn't get awarded, did you answer the reviewers' questions? Because your reviewers will also make comments as to why you were not awarded in the past. The actual proposal is pretty simplistic and it's all online. If you don't have access of being able to do it on the internet, you can just give the main office up at University of Minnesota a call and they'll be happy to take your application via email or fax. There's a description of about 300 characters. Notice not words, but characters of what the project is all about. The people, 400 words. Who's involved in the project? What is the problem actually? Gets 200 words. The solution of how to solve that problem is 500 words. What are the objectives of the solution? 100 words. And then it has to be able to understand what are the benefits of the project towards sustainable agriculture. And online, they'll have a pull down list, and you just select those that are going to be applicable to whatever your project is. What are the measuring results, those outcomes? And then how does your particular project contribute to the concept of sustainable agriculture? Additional ways that are part of the proposal sections is going to be the outreach. How are you going to let others know about your project? Sometimes a project is not successful, and that's just as important as those that are successful, so that others that come behind you will learn from what was and was not successful. There is no limit when it comes to wording for the budget, but you do have to have a description and a justification as to why those items in the budget are necessary for your project. A letter of support, and that can be someone with extension, it could be NRCS, it could be FSA, a VOAG teacher. And then if you're doing it as a team, there must be a letter from the other partner that's on the project with you as well. If you're doing anything with livestock, there is a care form. It's about 3 pages long, and you just need to fill that out. They just want to know what the animals are and how you take care of them. The evaluation of these proposals is they're going to look at the team leader or the project leader, and they're going to see what kind of farming experience or experience in this particular problem and solution. They're going to look at the actual project design. How was it put together? Is there a logical thought process in how you're going to overcome whatever the problem is with your solution? What is it going to do as far as contributions to the area of sustainable agriculture? 20% is on the outreach. How are you actually going to reach other individuals with what your project was all about? And then what are the results of your project? And again, if your project is not successful, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get awarded, but essentially they want to know what are the results and if you believe it's going to be successful. An appropriate budget. In other words, you don't have things in there that are not allowable. So let's look at the budget. The things that are allowable is you can pay personnel. You can actually pay yourself a small salary. I wouldn't go more than $20 an hour because most farmers don't even pay themselves that much money as a salary, to be honest. There is a limit on how much of that can actually go to personnel. Any project, the project that needs materials and supplies such as seeds, you can do portable fencing, but not permanent fencing. Any farming inputs, those sorts of things are allowable. If you have to do travel, such as picking up some of those different items or traveling to a location where you're going to do outreach, you can turn in your mileage for reimbursement. Other direct costs, if you've got someone who is a consultant who's going to be working with you, for example, creating a logo or a fact sheet or something, doing a video editing for you, for example. If you're going to be doing flyers and handing them out, if you're going to go to a conference or a meeting and do presentations about your project, if you're having an education or a demonstration, you're bringing somebody else in to help you in your educational program, you can pay for that. Meals and refreshments, it depends upon what it is. If it's going to be like an all-day workshop that you're going to be doing for education, it will pay for a lunch, but it will not pay for a breakfast or a dinner, for example. It will pay for refreshments. Equipment and permanent fencing, perennial seeds and plants that are going to be longer than the lifespan of the project is considered a piece of equipment. Therefore, only up to 50% of the cost of those items with a very specific justification as to why they are needed for your project needs to be in that budget. What is not allowed? It's not for everyday farming expenses. It's not to start a farm. It's not to expand a farm. Equipment costing more than $5,000 is not allowable. You cannot buy land or improve your farm or construction of buildings or any kind of infrastructure on the farm. Any kind of a permanent improvement to the farm is also not allowable. Any meal that does not maintain the continuity of a meeting, such as that workshop example that I gave. Testing of specific commercial products that are out on the market already is not allowable. The proposal is actually due December 1st of this year. In the spring, usually about April or May, they're going to let you know if you were awarded. And at that time, they will give you 50% of the funds that you requested. January 31st of 2024, a progress report is due. and then 35% of the rest of the funds are available for you. And then at the end of your project, you will have to do a final report. And once that report has been approved, then you'll get the last 15% of your funds. So keep in mind that 50% of the funds will come to you before you start your project. The other 50% of the total amount you have to pay and then will be reimbursed. There is a PowerPoint and a video on the SARE websites, and the links are here. And you are more than welcome to go out and look at those. The PowerPoint is going to be in more detail than what I have here. And then there's going to be a video of a PowerPoint presentation with more details as well. And I wish you the best of luck. Feel free to contact me if you've got questions or if you want to just brainstorm your ideas. Again, Debi Kelly, and I can be reached at 636-797-5391. Good luck, everyone.